जरूरी याद रखना है। On 29th August 1947 the Constituent Assembly it appointed the ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी के 7 मेंबर्स थे। इतना आपको याद रखना है। द हेड ऑफ द ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी वाज डॉक्टर B.R. Ambedkar. He was the chairman of the drafting committee, and he is known as modern Manu. He is known as the chief architect of the Indian Constitution. He is known as the father of Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, because he was the chairman of drafting committee which was formed on 29th August 1947. इसके बाद 16th July 1948, यहाँ पे ये याद रखना है क्योंकि मैंने आपको अभी बोला दैट H.C. मुखर्जी ही वाज द वाइस प्रेसिडेंट। इनके अलावा कभी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है दैट हु एल्स वाज द वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली। याद रखना है V.T. Krishnamachari, he was elected as an alternative vice president in addition to H.C. Mukherjee, and he was elected on 16th July 1948. आगे चलेंगे on 26 November 1949, very important date, you have to remember this, that on this very date the constitution was passed or accepted or adopted by the assembly. यहाँ पे याद रखना है that the draft constitution it was moved and finally it was said to have been passed on 26 November 1949. 26 November 1949 the constitution was passed. याद रखना है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पास हुआ और इसी को हम कहते हैं दैट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाज अडॉप्टेड। यहाँ पे ये भी याद रखना है दैट ऑन द सेम डे फर्स्ट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाज अडॉप्टेड एंड उसके बाद प्रीएम्बल वाज आल्सो पास्ड। फर्स्ट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाज पास्ड, ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाज पास्ड, उसके बाद प्रीएम्बल वाज आल्सो पास्ड। और इस डे की सिग्निफिकेंस ये है दैट दिस डेट हैज बीन मेंशन्ड इन द प्रीएम्बल। जैसा कि मैंने अलग से जो प्रीएम्बल पे वीडियो है उसमें मेंशन किया है दैट 26 नवंबर 1949 हैज बीन mentioned in preamble as the date of adoption of the constitution. ये क्वेश्चन आ सकता है when was the constitution of India adopted. यहाँ पे और एक पॉइंट याद रखना है that some of the provisions of the constitution they were enforced or they came into force on this very same date. याद रखना है major portion of the constitution came into force on 26th January 1950, but some of the portions of the constitution were also enforced or came into force on 26 November 1949. For example, citizenship provisions related to citizenship, provisions related to election provisions, like the temporary and transitional provisions, and short title to some articles. They were enforced or they came into force on this very date. आगे चलेंगे 24th January 1950. यहाँ पे याद रखना 26 November 1949 was the last date. It was the last meeting of the last session. There were 11 sessions in all and it was the last meeting of the last session. Means यहाँ पे Constituent Assembly का काम खत्म हुआ। लेकिन it was decided that the Constituent Assembly will also meet on 24th January 1950. तो इस डेट पे क्या हुआ? 3 things happened. One is the Jana Gana Mana. It was adopted as the national anthem of India. इस पे हम अगले वीडियो में रोशनी डालेंगे। उसके बाद वंदे मातरम it was adopted as the national song and Dr. Rajendra Prasad he was made the first president of India. These things happened on 24th January 1950. यहाँ पे ये याद रखना है that the Constituent Assembly उसका पहला फंक्शन है to make the constitution, second function that it was a legislative body, third function it adopted the national flag, fourth function it adopted the national anthem, fifth function it adopted the national song, sixth function it elected the first president of India. These were all the functions of the Constituent Assembly and these 3 functions they were done by the Constituent Assembly on 24th January 1950. और इस दिन Constituent Assembly के members क्यों मिले? Because the members had to append their signatures on the Constitution. 284 members actually signed the Constitution. ये आपको याद रखना है। इसके बाद 26 January 1950 जो मैंने अभी बोला that it is the date on which the major part of the Constitution. कभी कभी क्वेश्चन आता है when did the Constitution of India came into force? The Constitution of India came into force or it was enforced on 26 January 1950 and on this very date the Constituent Assembly it completely ceased to exist and इसका कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट फंक्शन वो पूरा खत्म हो गया एंड इट ओनली एक्टेड एज अ लेजिस्लेचर। तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली का दूसरा काम जो था दैट इट एक्टेड एज अ लेजिस्लेटिव बॉडी, इट कंटिन्यूड, सो द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली इट कंटिन्यूड एज द प्रोविजनल पार्लियामेंट ऑफ इंडिया until the new parliament was constituted in 1952. That means 1946 से up to 1950 the constituent assembly it was a constituent body. तो 1950 के बाद कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली इट एक्टेड एज अ लेजिस्लेटिव बॉडी जिसको हम प्रोविजनल पार्लियामेंट बोलते हैं अप टू 1952. Committees of the Constituent Assembly it appointed in total 23 committees. आपको याद रखनी है 15 were minor and 8 were the major committees. The important committees are the drafting committee. It was chaired by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. याद रखना है. The Union Powers Committee headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. Union Constitution Committee headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. The Provincial Constitution Committee headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. The Advisory Committee on Fundamental Rights, Minority and Tribal and Excluded Areas headed by Sardar Patel. Rules of Procedure Committee headed by Rajendra Prasad. States Committee for Negotiating with States, Jawaharlal Nehru. Steering Committee by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. ये 8 committees आपको याद रखनी है. The important committee is Drafting Committee. It was headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And Jawaharlal Nehru, he headed 3 committees. One is known as the Union Powers Committee, the Union Constitution Committee, and the States Committee. और उसके बाद Sardar Patel, he headed 2 committees. One is known as the Provincial Constitution Committee, other is the Advisory Committee on Fundamental Rights, Minorities and Tribal and Excluded Areas. इसके बाद आपको याद रखना है Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he also headed 2 committees. One is known as the Rules of Procedure Committee and the second one is known as the Steering Committee. इसके बाद ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी जो जैसा कि मैंने ऑलरेडी बोला कि ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी इट वाज कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड ऑन 29 अगस्त 1947 और इसका काम क्या था. इट्स फंक्शन वाज टू सेट अप ड्राफ्ट फॉर द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एंड इट वाज चेयर्ड बाय डॉक्टर B.R. अम्बेडकर और इसका काम क्या था टू ड्राफ्ट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया. व्हाइल डिलिब्रेटिंग इसमें कितने ड्राफ्ट्स और अमेंडमेंट्स हो गए. It made 2,473 amendments out of 7,635 amendments which were tabled. So 7,635 amendments were proposed and 2,473 amendments were made by this drafting committee. The sessions of the Constituent Assembly sessions आपको थोड़ा सा brief idea होना चाहिए. First, second, third, fourth, fifth up to 11th session. So 11 session हुए. पहला session याद रखिए 9 to 23rd December 1946 and the 11th session 14th to 26th November 1949. 26th November 1949 पे it was the last meeting of the last session. और फिर मैंने जैसा कि ऑलरेडी बोला आपको that the assembly met once again on 24th January 1950. इस दिन क्या करना था. इस दिन the members had to append their signatures on the constitution. कुछ फीमेल मेंबर्स आपको याद रखना है. देयर वर 15 फीमेल मेंबर्स हु आर एसोसिएटेड विद द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली. दुर्गाबाई देशमुख, राजकुमारी अमृत कौर, हंसा मेहता, बेगम एजाज रसूल, अमू स्वामीनाथन, सुचिता कृपलानी, डी विलायुदन, रेणुका रे, पूर्णिमा बनर्जी, एनी मस्करीन, कमला चौधरी, लीला रॉय, मलाती चौधरी, सरोजनी नायडू एंड विजय लक्ष्मी पंडित. So in short, the Constituent Assembly के बारे में आप कुछ पॉइंट्स याद रखेंगे that the Constituent Assembly it was a unicameral body क्योंकि एक ही हाउस था so it was unicameral. और ये पॉइंट याद रखना है that it was founded on 6th December 1946. ये याद रखना है. It was founded on 6th December 1946. First session and first meeting 9 December 1946. और मैंने जैसा कि बोला था that Muslim League it boycotted the first meeting. Princely states they also didn't join. तो अर्ली 1947 में मुस्लिम लीग और प्रिंसली स्टेट्स दे आल्सो ज्वाइंड. उसके बाद ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाज अप्रूव्ड ऑन 26 नवंबर 1949 जिसको हम बोलते हैं डेट ऑफ एडॉप्शन ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. फाइनली द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली इट वाज फुली डिसबैंडेड ऑन 24 जनवरी 1950 जब इसका काम खत्म हो गया एंड द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन केम इनटू फोर्स ऑन 26 जनवरी 1950. ये पॉइंट याद रखना है. द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली इट took almost 3 years, actually 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to complete its historic task of drafting the constitution. During this period, it held 11 sessions, जैसा कि मैंने already बोला, covering a total of 165 days. Out of these, 114 days they were spent on the consideration of the draft constitution. This is the whole topic of Constituent Assembly. इसमें मैंने बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स बोले, बहुत सारे डेट्स मेंशन किए जो आपको याद रखने हैं. फॉर एनी क्वायरीज काइंडली मेल मी ऑन sajadwani657@gmail. You can follow my Facebook Genesis Academy or my personal Facebook Sajad Wani, or Instagram Dr. Sajad Wani, and YouTube channel you can subscribe Genesis Academy by Dr. Sajad Wani. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.